The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit www.gg.com/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on this TIP VIP Friday. Got my dude Augustine hanging out with us. We got our dude Bistrilla hanging out with us today right now as well. Guys, we finally got it. It might have been underwhelming. It might have been, you were talking to this girl for a really long time and you guys finally get into bed and all you can do is 5 minutes of missionary. It might have felt like that, but we finally got football back.
Damn.
I'm great with analogy.
Already.
Tommy can also tune in and say, what's good, Tip? What's good to y'all? We got football back. Unfortunately for the Dallas Cowboys fans out there, myself included, the Dallas Cowboys lose 24-20 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, like the game started off fantastic. The foreplay was amazing. But when the second half came, the real meat and potatoes, it was just maybe not even missionary, like sideways missionary. Like it was not good.
Sideways missionary? The hell? I think Tipton's watching too many porn sites right now.
We cannot do that in Texas. You forget that.
Yeah.
We got blocked. I don't have no VPN stuff. I don't know how to do any of that.
I don't know how you're doing it.
My forearms have suffered. They're not as big as they used to be. Anyway, getting back to the game, a really it sucks whenever a game starts the way that this game started, which was Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. And I got a couple of clips here that I want to play because it kind of puts things into perspective. Puga saying, my guy Stephen Puga saying, close game. Jalen Carter almost literally cost the Eagles that game. And he really, it was close to him really costing them that game. But this is what Dak Prescott had to say in the press conference afterwards.
Probably spit 1,000 times throughout the game. I mean,
he's a spitter.
Especially game day, maybe even in general, and something I guess I'm not proud of. But in that case, he was trolling, I guess you could say, trying to mess with Tyler Booker. I was just looking at him. I was right here by the two linemen, and guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, and I just spit ahead. But I would say he was back there where Jory was in that sense, and he asked, or he goes, "You trying to spit on me?" And at that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me. Like I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure not trying to spit on you. Like we're about to play a game. I'm wondering why you're trying to mess with the rookie. And so when I stepped through, I actually say the words like, "What the hell would I? Excuse me, but I'm probably even more colorful. What would I need to spit on you for?" And he just spit on me in that moment, and it was more of a surprise than anything. Refs obviously saw it through the flag. I was like, "Hell yeah, we get 15 yards to start the game off." Didn't realize he was getting ejected. Unfortunate that he did. Hell of a player. Changed our plan and our blocking scheme. As I've told you all right before the week, that we're going to protect against him. So helped in that manner, but I don't wish for anybody to get out of the game. I'm sure he probably regrets that to some extent. I'm pretty sure he knows I didn't try to spit on him or wasn't even aiming to spit on him. So something that's probably going to get a lot of coverage and a lot of attention that feel sorry for him in the sense of, yeah, I mean, I know how excited each and every one of us are, right, to kick off the season and the season opener, and hell of a player like that doesn't even get a chance in the first play. Yeah, unfortunate circumstances.
Dak spit first. You don't say that Dak spit first, right? We all saw the video of it. Dak spit first.
I don't care who spit first. The point is, Dak didn't spit on him. He spit on the ground. He took it to a different point by spitting on him. Don't spit on nobody. That's just not even cool anyway. Don't do that. You need to get kicked out. That was asinine by him. He should have been kicked out of the game. I'm sure he's going to get a hefty fine for it too.
And that's what I was going to bring up too, right? Like, so I'm sure Dak's going to get something thrown his way. Like, hey, even if you spit on the ground, it was kind of in the direction of this guy. Jalen Carter, like the league has a highlight right now. They're talking about it during the game of like, we want sportsmanship. It feels like Jalen Carter could get suspended, you know, a couple of games here, maybe a game, something like that. And Philadelphia, we saw yesterday, without Jalen Carter on the field, they're a completely different team.
But getting suspended for spit, I would suspend Blankenship for that hit on Ferguson, man. I mean, for spit?
That's another. I hate the NFL right now. I do. This league is just getting really stupid. I mean, that was a good hit. I'm sorry, it was a good hit, and just because he had the ball, he you know, when you play it in slow motion, it looks a lot worse. But of course, that's going to look a lot worse in slow motion because he didn't have the ball. But that was a clean hit. Man, I'm getting sick of this pussy league. I really am. The shit with the damn with the storm and dude, ain't nobody dying in the NFL from getting hit by electricity or hit by a lightning bolt. So come on. Play football like it's supposed to be, man. Be out there in the elements. That's what you get paid for. The fuck? I'm just tired of this stuff, man. NFL's wimpy.
That was something that kind of like threw me for a loop. Like I remember, like there was a game. I think it was a Monday night game. It was like Miami and Kansas City, and it was basically them playing in a lake with like a tornado happening, like in the background. Like this is the early 2000s, right? Like I remember that game going on. There was a little bit of lightning. It was within 6 miles of the stadium. Okay. That's 6. I don't know if you realize that 6 miles, that's a long walk. Like that takes a little bit of time, right? Like that's not something to get with. But like I was kind of upset with that because I wanted to see what the real outcome of this game would be, right? You look at what happened. Miles Sanders fumbles the ball. Philadelphia has all the momentum going their way, right? Like Dallas was this close to getting themselves a touchdown to get the lead in this game. Philadelphia forces a turnover, which is huge. And all the momentum just comes to a screeching halt because we need to stop this because there was lightning 6 miles away. Like I feel like, especially for the first game of the season, I think, you know, watching the like Maria Taylor and all them, there wasn't even rain. Like it was just.
Well, it did rain at one point because she had moved everybody into the tunnel when they were doing their little interview. But the point of the matter is rain. It's a little lightning. They played in fog bowls where you couldn't hardly even see the game.
The
Ice bowl, yeah, which is probably more extreme than getting hit by lightning because you could freeze all your damn parts off in your body. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly what I was going to say. That playoff game a couple of years ago, once again between Kansas City and Miami, where it was -24, and then the wind chill was like -30, whatever, and that like the fans had their nipples frozen off and frostbite and all that stuff. First of all, if you go out in that cold weather without a shirt, you deserve what happens to you.
Yes,
like
exactly.
I've got no sympathy for you whatsoever. But and then Augustine, like you said, the hit from Reed Blankenship on Jake Ferguson. What is he supposed to do? Right? Like Ferguson drops the ball and then he like leans down. If he doesn't lean down, Blankenship doesn't come across the top of his helmet, right? So I didn't agree with the flag on that particular play because Blankenship's already launched. Like he's already in the air. There's nothing more he can do. Like it looks dirty, but don't get me wrong. Like it looks dirty, but it like there has to be some sort of responsibility on the receiver, right? Like to not do shit like that, like to not go down and allow yourself to get hit these ways, because we see a lot of the times whenever it's contact to the head or neck area, it's because the receiver goes down. If they don't go down, they get hit in the chest, right? Like that's football, man.
It's just like the quarterback rule. The quarterback's out there dinking and dunking. They act like they're going to go. Dan Campbell, when we played Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Dan Campbell said, you know what? I don't care what happens. As long as he's inbounds, hit him. Because what he's going to try to do is act like he's going out of bounds and then come back inbounds. I hate that stuff. And then they get mad when somebody cleans some quarterback's clock because that happens. I said, well, then you know what? When you run from the pocket, you're getting treated like a running back. I'm sorry. That's all there is to it. Don't run from the pocket then, or go down immediately. If you want to make a play and you want to be out there with the big boys, then you're going to take big boy punishment.
I was surprised that there wasn't a flag thrown on the Cowboys a couple of times, because it was that thing, right? Like until he's completely out of bounds, you hit him, right? And they hit Jalen Hurts a couple of times, like right on the line. Like he wasn't out of bounds yet, but he was right on the line. And as we saw last year and years previously, you did that to the quarterback, the flag came out. So I was surprised to see that the NFL referees didn't throw the flag in that aspect. And
it was that one play where, the one play that I saw that he got hit out of bounds, it was past the chalk, but there was a momentum carrying them both out.
Yeah.
And he kind of just held on to his back so he didn't trip and bust his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even though Jalen Hurts went into the wall, but it was just momentum in that case. I don't think there was any intent of pushing him down or anything like that by the defensive player. So, I mean, I wouldn't have called it.
I got to get to one of the comments here. Ashley Candelaria saying that Dak Prescott called for daddy and said, did you see what Jalen Carter did? He knew what he was doing. He said Dak knew what he was doing. I mean, even if that's the case, you can't fall for the bait like that, man.
Mm-mm.
But like you got to be smart. We saw it all the time, especially God, it was one of the kickoffs where somebody ripped off a helmet from Leo Follow from the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, there's two unsportsmanlike penalties. They're like, okay, yeah, it's gonna offset. Both of them are on the Dallas Cowboys. What? The second guy always gets caught. Like that's just how it is. You got to be smarter than that if you're Jalen Carter, especially with all of the background stuff that has happened with Jalen Carter in the past, right? Like you can't be spitting on people. You can't be acting an ass and doing all that stuff, right? Like he would have been a consensus number 1 overall pick if not for acting like an asshole while he was in college, right? Like you've already cost yourself a bunch of stuff in the past. Why do you keep doing this? Like are you that easily triggered to keep doing this stuff?
Yeah, but getting ejected for spit, I mean, there are worse things to get ejected for.
I mean, they ejected Bill Romanowski from a game back in the.
Has anybody ever spit on you, Augustine?
No, poor guy.
Well, there you go. That takes my case right there. You don't know what it's like, and so somebody hawks on you.
Augustine
in
pays
contempt.
to spit on him.
Okay, we're not talking about the little sexual fantasy thing he's got going on with that, but
okay.
We're talking about malice, spitting on people with malice. You know,
I just think getting spit is
it's degrading, man. You can't be spitting like grown ass men out here playing. You didn't spit on nobody.
They
I don't care how
act
much I don't like you.
that.
I'm not going to spit on you. That's just,
I mean, spitting is the ultimate, and that's why I'm saying if someone spits on me, we're throwing hands, and like
we're throwing hands.
Throw hands, but my hands are being thrown. It's happening that way. And Dak Prescott, like for all his stuff, like Ashley said, he definitely knew what he was doing. He knew he can get under this kid's skin. You got to think about how different this game would have been had Jalen Carter been in the game, because Dallas's running game looked really good yesterday, right? Like there was some plays there where you thought to yourself, holy hell, maybe they actually found something here. Now, I'm not going to say Javonte Williams is going to have a game like he did. Miles Sanders more than likely not going to break out a 50-yard run. Also, how slow is Miles Sanders? Because Jesus Christ, man. Like most other running backs aren't getting caught in that aspect. Jesus, I had so much hope and expectation for him.
I feel that fumble was karma, though. Don't be talking shit about another team. That's why your ass fumbled, and that's the reason why you're not on another team anymore. I'm not a big Miles Sanders fan. I don't like Miles Sanders at all. But I like Javonte. Javonte did pretty well. Didn't they have another running back that was running? What's his face? Didn't he run a little bit?
The ones I saw mostly yesterday were Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. I know Jaden Blue might have got a touch here or there, but it was mainly just those two. And that's why I think, like, if they had waived Miles Sanders, I would have been okay, because I think Jaden Blue gives you like Javonte Williams is going to be your power back. He's not a speedy dude. Mm-hmm. Jaden Blue, if he gets out in the wide open like that, he's not getting caught. And Miles Sanders was running for his life out there, looking like us, as slow as physically possible. The slowest 50-yard run I've ever seen. And I've seen big, fat, beefy offensive linemen run fast.
Here we go. Here we go. But no, yeah, and then Sanders is I don't know. I mean, for some reason the NFL likes him, and I understand that. But Blue should have been there.
You might have been talking. So they did have Kevontae Turpin run out of the backfield one or two times. I think it was one time, but like Kevontae Turpin did run out of the backfield. But that's the thing with the Cowboys, right? Like, I think they showed, even if you're a Cowboys hater, they showed you a little bit of something, right? And that's why I said, even if they lose this game, like, I want to see fire. I want to see passion, right? We got that early on in the game. We got that early in the second half. And then, like I said, everything came to a screeching halt with our 1 hour weather delay because lightning was somewhere down the street. And oh my God, we can't play when there's lightning outside. Fucking losers.
all that is, I can't tell you how many people. Oh, it's for safety. Get the fuck out of here. It ain't about safety.
So this
it's about the NFL making more money off of everything.
Yeah,
guess what the crowd has to do. They have to go in, and guess where they're going to go? To the vending areas, to the concession stands. Hell, Diggs was out there looking for food. He was like, "Damn, I'm hungry." There you go.
And that's what like they could say it's all about safety and all that stuff. Let's not forget DeMar Hamlin died on the field, and we almost continued playing that game.
Yeah.
Like, the NFL doesn't care about player safety. Come on now.
Or the same thing in a preseason game when one of the Lions, Maurice Norris, he had his back. Oh, well, we can go play the game. Dude, the dude almost got killed on the field, and you're talking about, playing the game.
Wasn't there a game?
That stuff right there is different.
Wasn't there a game a couple of years back where like a Texas Rangers fan went for like a foul ball, fell down to his death, and they just kept playing the game?
Oh yeah.
Pittsburgh too had that happen.
That's just a fan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, I've said it a million times. If I've said it once, right? Like, your relationship with sports is completely transactional. You can die at the field in the middle of the game, and they'd be like, thoughts and like T's and P's, right? Thoughts and prayers, baby. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Right. They're moving on quicker than anyone else in your life.
Yeah, there was a Pirates fan that did that too. He fell in a Pirate stadium. He fell also and was killed. He fell from I think he fell off a concourse onto the pavement. Like there's that space. You got the concourse, and he kind of fell and just smashed right there on the concrete transverse there.
Shit, that was this year.
He broke his neck. Yeah, I think it was that year. But no, it might have been. It might have been a Steeler game. I'm thinking it was a Steeler game. But it's like they said it in a sports thing, but it's nothing like they kept playing anyway. So.
Tommy's saying, as someone who's been within 100 feet of a lightning strike, I can tell you that's some scary shit. I think we've all been close to lightning, right? Like, come on now. Ashley Candelaria saying, but that's the player in danger only when it's the fan. When it's a fan that can get hurt, legal steps in. Like, nope, actually it doesn't. If you look at the back of your ticket, anytime you buy a ticket, in the terms and conditions, it says anything that happens to you in the stadium is not the responsibility of the team, right? So, like, especially in baseball, if your goofy ass gets drilled with the baseball right off the bat at 100 miles an hour, T's and P's, baby. Like that's all it is. The team can be like, okay, we'll give you an autographed bat. We can give you this and that. If it's really bad, like you lose a limb or something, they'll give you $5,000 and you get to meet a couple of players, but they don't have to, because on your ticket, it says that they are not responsible for it. Like, I know that's a wild thing to think of, but they could have played that game in the middle of a torrential downpour with a tornado like they did 20 years ago. And the fans probably would have been like, hell yeah, this is football weather, brother. Let me tell you what football weather is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of it is because it's a generational gap, too. You got the softer side of Sears coming out of this generation. And then, the other generation, is hard knocks. You know what I'm saying? You playing in the mud, in snow 5 feet deep. You know what I'm saying? Those are good games.
I understand about snow and 5 feet deep of snow in El Paso, Texas. We know nothing about that.
Yeah. Well, the Lions played Philadelphia in a torrential snowstorm, basically, and it got about like a foot deep there. On 5 feet is being extraordinary, but they played like about a foot of snow. In fact, there's a picture of Calvin Johnson with a face full of snow because he fell into the snow after a catch, and his whole face mask is just matted with snow. So yeah, I love those games,
So speaking about players and all that, how would you feel if the whole NFL went to closed stadiums? What I mean by that is the rooms, the whole thing, air conditioning, the whole thing. I mean,
so we've spoken about this before on Fire and Ice. Brandon the Iceman Conan, I was especially talking about that game a couple of years back that I referenced between Miami and Kansas City, where fans had frostbite. I think it was like 72 fans wound up having frostbite, and someone had to have like a nipple removed. Like, I said it as a joke, but I mean, come on, you set yourself up for this, right?
Right.
You go out there like that, you're the asshole that deserves that. And I told him, you're talking about 72 fans in a stadium that sat 75,000, right? For me, like, if you have the ability to have those elements on your side, those are some awesome elements to have. Like, I get if you have like a retractable roof. Like yesterday, if Lincoln Financial Field had a retractable roof, they could have closed the roof and then played the game, 15 minutes later instead of an hour and 15 minutes later. That maybe that could be something that we address. But if you completely take all the elements out, I think it makes the game a little less fun. Right? Because we love those snow games. We love those rain games. We love when weather comes in and plays a part in some of the game. Man, Miami's got some bad history with weather. There was a game, I think the same year that they played Kansas City, where they had the Buffalo Bills just baking in the sun in like 150 degrees while the Miami Dolphins were on the other side of the field in shade because they built the stadium that way. Right? Like, they gave themselves that type of advantage. Imagine what Dallas would be like if they opened the top of that roof and just let the sun in Texas bake everything in that stadium, right? Like, they would have themselves an advantage as well because it's Texas. They're used to that type of weather, right? So for me, like, if you have that type of advantage, take advantage of it. And then you look at like the two loudest stadiums in the NFL in Seattle and in Kansas City. Those are wide open stadiums. So I think maybe a dome even would take away from how loud your stadium could get, because I've been in Cowboy Stadium with 110,000 people, And brother, it don't feel like 110,000 people are there cheering.
Yeah, he ain't been to Ford Field lately. Ford Field, it's deafening. It is deafening in there. When your team does, when the Lions fans are so passionate about their football team, when they're doing something great, I mean, there's not even a place to freaking sit down there. They sell out so much. They sell standing room now. And I went to one game not too long ago, like when they were in their 9 and 8 season, and it was packed then because people knew something was going on good with the line. I mean, the whole stadium was packed. I was like, and you couldn't hear yourself think. If you watch the games and the playoff games they had in Ford Field too, it's like Stafford said he had never seen nothing like that. And he played here. So
I think that's also coming down from a fan base that's just starved, right?
Yeah.
No,
everything is a +10.
Yeah, like whenever it's few and far between, you're a little more vocal, you're more boisterous,
Few
like
and
you're
far never.
doing everything you can.
Yeah, but I mean that noise does affect big time the offense on the other side of the ball because I understand a lot of teams practice for it and silent counts and all kinds of hand signals and whatever, but like B said, it's you can't think sometimes that in that kind of those kinds of decibels really do stuff to your brain that you're like all of a sudden you're going, oh wait a second, what play am I gonna do? And that's happened a lot in those very loud stadiums. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, weather does play a big part, but if you can be that loud, and I think in remembering, did the NFL give flags to the crowd for being too loud? They were measuring decibels at one point, or
yep, they were. That was in the 90s because the Lions were a victim of that. The line in the Silver Dome, the Lions fans were so loud that the referee said if you don't shut up, you get your team will get a 5-yard penalty.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They even had those decibel meters in the stadium where the NFL was watching the decibels, and some of those were 115, 120 decibels. And even the announcers were like, this is like a rock concert or whatever they were saying, but the referees would come out and flag the crowd.
Yeah, I forgot who they were playing, but I remember that it was on defense. They were on defense, and they had the lead at the time, and the other team. Damn, I'm trying to remember who the hell it was.
Yeah,
but the other team was like, "Look, I can't do anything," and once they announced that to the crowd, Robert Porcher, defensive end at the time, he was like to the crowd, I said, "We don't give a damn. Keep going."
Yeah, give them 5 yards. Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, they eliminated that because that just took, that takes the element of the crowd. Is you have a home field advantage for a reason, and so, if you can use it to your reason, to your ability, then fine. That should be, they come there to pay to see. Let them do what they got to do.
Here's the actual rule. The crowd noise rule. In 1989, the NFL created a rule allowing referees to penalize the home team if crowd noise prevented the visiting team from hearing the snap count or communicating. Okay. So
that was 1999. Like, I feel like I should have known this. Like, how the hell did that not ever come across my radar? Because like I thought you guys were talking about like maybe like 1989, right? Where like I'm 5 years old and I can't really know what the hell is going on with these things. 1999, we're trying to have crowd control noise. Like, what the hell is this about?
It was before that. Like I said, I think that game that the Lions had were like in the beginning of the 90s that happened.
Yeah. And
1999, 3 years after the Cowboys made their last Super Bowl.
So I feel Super Bowls is like the pandemic for Tip, because it's always pre-Super Bowl, after Super Bowl. That's just funny. But so the thing is, there were 3 steps to this. where the refs would warn the home team and ask the crowd to quiet down. Can you imagine asking a crowd to quiet down? But anyway,
Like it's
if,
golf. Like they just put up a sign, "Quiet, please." What the hell is going on here?
Nice.
so if the noise continued, a 5-yard delay of game penalty against the home team would be assessed. But here's the kicker. I never saw it, and I don't remember it. And if you remember any of this, please tell me. It's in some extreme cases, referees would forfeit timeouts or delay the game until the fans settled. I remember delaying the game until the fans settled, but I don't, because I remember players telling the crowds to quiet down. I remember that much. I don't remember referees taking away timeouts.
So our dude J Train saying Atlanta was guilty in 2022-ish. They lost some draft picks. What Atlanta was guilty of was pumping in crowd noise in like the speakers and stuff like that, right? So that's not the same as like us talking about the crowd was naturally just super loud. Like I am befuddled right now that this was an actual thing that happened in like recent memory. I could see this being like in 1962 or whatever, and they're like, no, we don't play. We don't have loud football games here, right? Like I could see them doing that, but not in fucking 1999, man. Like what the hell were we doing?
Yeah, I can just picture Green Bay fans. Oh wait, I can't talk bad about Green Bay. Brooke, hi Brooke. I just want to say hi to Brooke. Hi Brooke. Well, anyway, I can just picture, teams of that age. Pardon me, would you pass the grape upon? That's something I just can't picture.
So it was funny in that game too, because at the time they can't edit stuff out like they can now. So they were panning the crowd, right? Everybody's on their feet just cheering real loud, and they were panning, and they started getting closer to the crowd when they were panning. This one guy was like, when they were telling them to shut up, this one guy was like,
got him.
I was like, but that's correct.
You guys have piqued my interest with this subject right now. Like I need to go back. I need to see how many times someone got, flagged for it. How like when the NFL decided to stop doing it. I want to do some research because that was just the tip of it for me.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Visit them today, www.myhappynuts.com. They've got the Lawnmower 2.0, so if you got the biggest bush like the Zohan, you too can get rid of it right now. If you got your boys sticking to your legs all the time, you got to do the stanky leg and get them nice and free. They've got the comfort cream to make sure you aren't getting too sticky down there. All the things that you need for your male grooming needs. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. That was a hell of a setup, guys. I knocked it out the park on that one.
That was a good transition.
Hey, yo. Okay, so obviously the Dallas Cowboys, yes, I think we were all kind of surprised that they were in this game as long as they were in this game, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people thought Philadelphia was going to come in here, run house on Dallas, and go on their way. Vegas thought that as well. If you bet on the Dallas Cowboys to cover the spread, you won yourself a little bit of money yesterday. Today, we get the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers. Still got to get used to saying LA Chargers. I think they've been there like 6 years. I still got to get used to not calling them the San Diego Chargers. Tommy Cananza saying, not me. Not me. You are right, Tommy. You are right. I was also optimistic with the Cowboys, but I'm more optimistic with them now. Mm-hmm. What are our expectations? Like really, what are our expectations for the Kansas City Chiefs? Can they make a fourth Super Bowl in a row? Like, do we really feel that they can do that?
I'm one of those people that I try to stick with people, that are constantly making it And everybody writes off Kansas City all the time. They just managed to find the little punk behinds in the damn Super Bowl at the end of the year. It's like, wow, how did this happen? And Patrick Mahomes didn't have a very good year last year statistically, and they pulled out a lot of close games. I think they were like 15-0, or not 15-0, like 13-0 or 14-0 in close games last year. That's a lot of games to be close in. That could automatically turn. Minnesota did it one year when they got into the playoffs. They were winning close games. The next year, they weren't winning those close games. So, but again, Minnesota's not Kansas City, so I couldn't tell you.
Kansas City, I don't know. Kansas City to me right now is the Cowboys. You don't know what you're going to get anymore. I mean, because with the Cowboys, I mean, you saw a good game yesterday, for example. You saw if CeeDee Lamb makes 2 catches, they're winning. I mean, nobody's downing that. With Kansas City, I think the window's closed. I think they have to reload. I mean, how many times can Kelsey do all that? And how many, their receiving core isn't what it needs to be at that top talent. So at those top places. So I think Kansas City, yeah, they might be a playoff team, but do they have an actual chance? A 5%, or yeah, but that's about it.
Look, I mean, to play devil's advocate here, though, if you got the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, you're terrified because that's a team with a ton of experience, and we know that team with experience normally tends to like rise to the occasion where the other teams don't, right? So, like, let's say you're Denver, you win the division, but for winning the division, you get Kansas City in the wild card round or something like that. You don't want to face the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
I think nobody does, but at the same time, I think there. How do you break that barrier of telling yourself, "Hey, these guys aren't unbeatable," and I think we've gotten to that point with the Chiefs that they're no longer the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that window has closed, and the front office has not reloaded that team the way it needs to be reloaded in order to compete against those very top teams.
My rebuttal to that would be like, how can you say that whenever we were talking about the Kansas City Chiefs being not the Kansas City Chiefs? They win what, 14 or 15 games last year?
15 games. They went 15-2 last year.
Yeah, they lost 3 games. One of them just happened to be the Super Bowl in very devastating fashion. But I mean, they were a shell of themselves and still made it to this. They were still the best team in the AFC. They beat Josh. Like it's almost like they were on cruise control all last year. And we got to remember, like, this year they're not going to have Rishi Rice for the first 6 games. So they're going to have to get that receiving core a little bit better. Isaiah Pacheco was hurt a lot last year. So if he can stay healthy this year. And then obviously the one thing that you have on your side that no one else has is Patrick motherfucking Mahomes, right? Like, that dude has some sort of magic up his ass that is insane to have. Whenever you got Patrick Mahomes, it feels like you got a shot against anybody. And if it comes down to a last second game and Kansas City has the ball, are you trusting the other team's defense to stop Kansas City? Because we've seen it, right? Like they had a comeback in 13 seconds. Dak Prescott slid with 14 and couldn't get the next playoff.
That's so funny.
They're just like, they're that huge team in the background that nobody wants to face. Like I still feel like they're that team.
No, completely and utter agree. But I think to their core, except Mahomes and some of the players, time has caught up. Injuries have caught up. And those things are really hard to break through unless you get some new blood in there, and like other teams have done. So it's not that they're bad. It's just that other teams are, I consider, a step above. I think it's the Bills' year.
I mean, I agree with you on that too. I think it is the Bills' year because, sooner or later the Chiefs are going to run into that wall, and I would say it could be Baltimore's year too. Baltimore has a much better team than they had last year. But if they got to face, it's just getting over the hump of Kansas City. If Kansas City's in the playoffs with those two teams in there, I mean, I can't bet for Buffalo, and I can't bet for Baltimore because they drop the ball every time figuratively and literally when they play Kansas City. It's just, I don't understand what this, mind meld they have on these two teams. It's like they can't beat them. They're better teams on paper. They're better teams, but they just can't beat them.
And like Kansas City did, like they in the draft this year, they went out, they got Josh Simmons out of Ohio State, like to help out the offensive line. So like they've gotten younger. They've done a lot of things to help this team kind of reload and restack. Now, obviously, the receiving core I think is going to be an issue, but Xavier Worthy's one of the fastest players out there, and you get Rashee Rice like again healthy with the Kansas City Chiefs. It gives them that dynamic they had with Tyreek Hill, right? Like where they can take the top off the defense, or at least the defense is going to have to play that high cover too and open up the middle of the field for the Kansas City Chiefs, where Travis Kelce can eat, where Juju Smith-Schuster, who's proven to be like, I thought he was washed when he went to Kansas City. He's proven to be a hell of an asset for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Like when those guys can get theirs, that's whenever that offense is going. And then obviously you got Pacheco. I think they still have Kareem Hunt. I have to check the roster, but I think
they still got Kareem Hunt.
Like they've got a pretty well-rounded team. And let's not forget they had a really damn good defense last year too, right? Like, so they don't have to score 90 points a game to win. They just got to get 20, 21, and that defense is going to be able to hold people where they need them to be. But I think Buffalo and Baltimore are entering that area that I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are always in, where they're perpetually in, where you got to win now. And all the pressure is on your back of, look, you can have all the MVPs you want. At the end of the day, it's all about Super Bowl rings. And there's a dude in your division that has all the Super Bowl rings right now. After you had a dude in your division that had all the Super Bowl rings before him, you got to find a way to break through and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you couldn't beat them last year when they seemed to be their most vulnerable, it's hard for me to think that you can beat them this year when they've kind of reloaded. They don't have huge names, but they've kind of reloaded.
Yeah, I think just and the whole persona with the wide receivers. They've been having wide receiver problems since Tyreek Hill, wide receiver problems. But yet, how many Super Bowls have they been in since Tyreek left? There you go. It's like you can't count them out at all.
They won 2 Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill. Like, it's wild. Like, how can we constantly sit here and doubt the Kansas City Chiefs when they are objectively really damn good?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guilty of it too, because I said Denver's going to win that division.
I mean, everything's a possibility. I mean, San Diego could win a division too. People don't understand. San Diego's defense is really good. They were one of the top defenses last year. People don't realize that they get a lot of their points off turnovers. I mean, not directly, but they get in the field position to put the offense in a good position to get touchdowns and field goals and stuff like that. In the preseason, the backups are even making turning the ball over on these guys. So if you're teaching that all the way down through your core of your team, they're going to have a good defense.
And Justin Herbert is going to be the NFL comeback player of the year. He got
Aiden Hutchinson will, but that's a good thought.
I was about to say, like Herbert had a decent season last year. Like he'd have to be like a 6,000-yard thrower to get comeback player of the year.
No, I think this is going to be. Herbert's always been a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's got the right people at the right positions now to actually be this manly guy. Sorry, and really become what everybody's been expecting of Justin Herbert, to become the man.
But I also think like Jim Harbaugh's style kind of puts the pressure off of Justin Herbert to be the dude, right? Because Jim Harbaugh wants to run the ball. They've got Najee Harris now. Like they've got some running backs back there that can help them be a little more balanced. to where Justin Herbert can just be a game manager, kind of like Ben Roethlisberger, right? Get your yards, do what you got to do, take the game over whenever you've got to take the game over, but all the pressure to win isn't on you. Because, like B said, I think the Chargers defense last year went their first 7 games giving up less than 17 points a game. Like, they have a great defense. So they've got to get something going. I think they only gave up 27 points or more one time last year.
Mhm.
I want to say it was to like the Bengals, right? Like, and the Bengals had an amazing offense last year. It's just that division, the AFC West, those top 3 teams between the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs, they're going to be beating each other up. Obviously, the Raiders, I think, are going to be a little better, but they're still the Raiders, right? Like, they're not going to be a great team. They're so bad that Amari Cooper signed a contract, and a week later was like, I'm just retiring. I don't want to be a part of this.
Hey, so here's the question.
That's because he wasn't Amari Cooper. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
Here's the question on the AFC. So where do you put the Kansas City Chiefs? The biggest threats to the Chiefs, I think, are the following: the Ravens, the Bills, the Bengals, if they get if their defensive is healthy. But out of those 4, how do you rank them? And realistically, where do you think they're going to end up?
Again, like,
I wouldn't have Bengals on the list. But go ahead, Mike.
that's what I was about to say. Like, the Bengals, to me, their offense is going to put up points on anybody. That defense is also going to give up 50 points a game. Like, their defense is considerably the worst in the NFL. Like, maybe Miami's secondary might be worse, but the Bengals defense, like, it's going to be a really bad defense. So I don't think we could put them as one of the top 4 teams in the NFL. I still think, if you want me to rank them like how I think they're going to do, I think it'll be Baltimore number 1. I think it'll be Buffalo number 2. Kansas City will be number 3, even if they don't win their division, because I think these first 6 games without Rice are going to be a gut check for them because they've got a hard-ass schedule.
Yeah.
But then again, let's imagine this. The Kansas City Chiefs squeak into the playoffs as like a 7 seed. You still don't want to face that 7 seed if it's fully healthy. Because let's say they go 3-3, right? And then they get Rashee Rice back, and they finish the season losing like 2 more games. Well, they'd be a hot-ass team that you don't want to face. Well, like, they just objectively are. So to me, like, a healthy Kansas City Chiefs team is the 3rd best team in the AFC. But when it comes to playoff time, do you trust Baltimore and do you trust Buffalo? And I don't think anybody does. I don't think they trust themselves.
And I think that's the key right there. They have to break through that. They have to believe in themselves that they can beat the Chiefs, because the Chiefs for all this time, they've built this stigma, this, bigger than life Mahomes and all this. And that's the key to breaking it. If you do it, it's like the Chicago Bulls when they beat the Pistons. Got to break through. And after you break through, you're going to be better. So is it psychological right now? That's the big question. But
I think it is.
Yeah, it's like my beloved Lions. Once they win 1 Super Bowl, they'll win at least 4. With this, with these players, easy.
You make it seem like winning 4 Super Bowls is just the easiest thing to do.
Right.
Like that right there is just a spoiled ass Patriots fan, man. Like, 4 Super Bowls is hard. There's 5 teams that have won 4 Super Bowls, and I think I might even be overestimating it.
No, but
you got Pittsburgh, you got Dallas, you got Patriots. You said 5, right?
Yeah.
4.
San Francisco and then the Giants.
San Francisco, yeah, you're good. But still, that's 5 out of 32 teams.
Yeah. He's like, once this team wins
Lions,
Bowl, they'll just win all of them.
My beloved Lions.
I blame those teams too, because they've been taking our Super Bowls away from us. If we go by Mike's every 32 years, at least you should win a Super Bowl. Yeah, they've been taking our Super Bowls away from us.
I'm about to say, like, I've got 2 more years of being able to say that.
That's true.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing. I mean, once the Lions, break that barrier of winning that conference championship, I think they'll breeze through the Super Bowl, because they'll start believing in themselves in those hard situations, and it goes for Buffalo as well.
That's the same thing as like the Steve Young 49ers, right? Like everyone thought whenever they made the hump, they win the Super Bowl in 1994, that they were going to be on a road to winning a lot more Super Bowls after that. And they didn't get close again until 2012, right? Like
the thing is, Steve Young was old already.
Yeah, Jared Goff ain't young.
Yeah, he's almost 30. He's like 28 right now.
Yeah, and Steve Young was way older than that when he won his Super Bowl.
God, I hate Steve Young.
I know those Mormons look old.
What is this affinity you have with Steve Young, by the way? I know you went on a rant with them the other day about it. I just hate that guy. What did he do to you? What did he do?
1994, that's what he did to me. Like, I mean, come on now. Beating the Dallas Cowboys to go like if the Cowboys had won that game and they play the San Diego Chargers, they dominate the San Diego Chargers. We're talking about the Cowboys winning maybe 4 straight Super Bowls instead of what we're dealing with now of, oh, well, it's been this long since you won a Super Bowl, you fucking nerds. Like, it's like, Steve Young ruined it all. Like he ruined it all.
Hey, by the way, Steve Young was, I think, 33 or 34 when he won his Super Bowl. Remember, he was a perennial backup to Joe Montana.
I don't care if he was 33, 34, however old he was a piece of shit.
Damn. He's just picking the quarterback out, even though it was the whole team that whooped his ass. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I've said it a bunch of times. Like, I love Tua. I love Michael Penix just because they're left-handed. I love left-handed quarterbacks. Steve Young.
Didn't Charles Haley go to the San Francisco 49ers that year too?
No.
Dion
was with the 49ers on that year, but then he came over with the Cowboys. They win a Super Bowl. All is forgiven. Like if Steve Young had become a Cowboy and won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys, maybe it's forgiven. But he didn't.
Except for Terrell Owens. You know, Terrell Owens was the one that spiked the star, but then he played for Dallas. That's hilarious. That whole scenario was hilarious.
I love T.O. I'm also friends. Like if you remember whenever Terrell Owens spikes the ball at the 50-yard line, he gets blown up by George Teague. I actually became friends with George Teague because he did like a thing at ESPN. And I was like, you are my favorite fucking player of all time for just laying out Terrell Owens, man. Like I am with him on that.
Now everybody's Terrell Owens' friends in Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
The Dallas Cowboys. He was a really good player for the Dallas Cowboys for a while.
He's a good player for all the teams he played on. I mean,
not whenever he was in Buffalo or Seattle. Like,
yeah, at the end of his career, yeah. I think he was in Buffalo at the end of his career. I think that was after Philly, wasn't it?
Terrell Owens kind of bouncing around from team to team there at the end.
That's what they do. It's like Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice as a Raider and a Seahawk was wild. But he was with the Raiders for a while, wasn't he? Wasn't he with them for like 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, that was that long. It might have been 2 or 3 years. Because he spent some time with Seattle, a year with Seattle. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was 2 or 3. I think it was by 3 years he was with the Raiders.
I remember there was like a thing that ESPN did. They were like highlighting Jerry Rice, and they were like, he was the son of a bricklayer. I was like, yeah, he's the son of a something. It's another one. Like again, that Fort, maybe it's like the entire city of San Francisco. Like the hate and vitriol just comes out of me.
Well, ask Green Bay about that. Green Bay really hates San Francisco. Green Bay's put them out of their misery too many damn times with Jimmy Garoppolo on top of it against the MVP quarterback.
Can I tell you guys what I was hoping and thinking this year? I was like, I want Green Bay to go like 15-2, be the number 1 seed in the NFC, make it to the Super Bowl, and lose in overtime. Just, again, that heartbreaking way that the San Francisco 49ers lost a couple of years ago to the Kansas City Chiefs, where you knew there was nothing you can do to stop it, as Patrick Mahomes is just handing the ball off, dropping dimes here and there. You watch their soul slowly leave their body. Their fans are in the crowd crying because they know their team is about to lose in the damn Super Bowl. There is no more painful way to lose a game than that. And that's what I want for the Green Bay Packers, because they will never make it back after this year, because their team is going to have to get blown up because they just don't have it. Oh, all the pain.
Oh,
and
actually,
my veins.
the dream scenario I have with them is that they make it in the playoffs and they think they're hot shit, and then they have to go play San Francisco. Somehow squeaks their way into a wild card spot, and they have to play San Francisco, and they can't seem to beat San Francisco for some reason. I don't know what it is. That's their kryptonite.
Tommy Canazza saying that he used to hate Hanks with his long ass neck.
Oh,
Which
I like
Hanks we're talking about?
Merton Hanks, the safety.
Oh,
You know, the one who used to.
yeah.
When he got done and he picked the ball off and returned it for a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Kirby did that last year. He mimicked him when he did the same thing. In fact, it was in San Francisco when he picked off the ball from Purdy and he ran a few yards. He was doing the Merton Hanks. I was like, there you go. Insult the shit out of San Francisco on their own field. I like Tommy. I want Green Bay to go 115. I know that's right.
I mean, it would be 1-16. 1-16 would be the way to go.
How about 0-17? That would even be better.
That would be great. We've lost Augustine in this
about Detroit at all. Then
No, I'm here. Just that the wishing. I understand the wishing, but there are things in the NFL that are constant. And these 30 years.
I know you're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys sucking ass. I get it.
Yeah, and that's a constant. I mean, there's been some funny videos out there that say, if for 30 years it has snowed on the 25th of December, how much would you bet that it snows on the 25th of December this year? I would spend all my money. So we have all this data that they're not going to win a Super Bowl. They're not going to do anything. It's another year. It's another, disappointment for Dallas Cowboy fans.
I just want you to think about this, Augustine. If you are blessed to live 30 more years on this planet, okay, and New England doesn't win another Super Bowl for that amount of time,
they're idiots.
Just remember this conversation.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, like, they didn't, right? Like from their inception until when they won their first Super Bowl is a longer drought than what the Dallas Cowboys are going through. So I'm like, we can sit there and have this conversation all we want. Every single team has had a long ass drought, except for the New York Giants, who just seem to win a Super Bowl once every decade because they're that team. Like it's wild how that happens with them. Mm-hmm. But every single team has had a long extended drought. We went over this list a bunch of times. There are 18 teams with a drought longer than the Dallas Cowboys drought of winning a Super Bowl. But
they're not America's team.
The bar has moved because they made it to an NFC Championship game. I don't give a fuck what you make. It all at the end of the day, all that matters is that you got a ring on your finger. And if you ain't got that ring on your finger, you're in the same damn boat with everybody else. You're a loser. You might be the first loser, but you're still a loser. And until you get that ring on your finger, your drought is as long or longer than that of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me,
I don't want to hear about droughts.
Point. It's the only team that gets spoken about because they love having a big old D in their mouth.
It depends which D you want in your mouth. But anyway, Dallas or Detroit?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I thought I
you know
a nickname for something that I was missing.
For people who don't have porn in Texas, boy, you guys have got that mindset. But anyway,
hey, I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, well,
Tommy's saying sucking ass is better than sucking something else.
Exactly. I don't know. Sucking ass. Oh, that's kind of nasty right there in the South.
Now we know what Tommy's search history is. He's got a VPN for sure.
His VPN's located in India.
Damn.
There's one thing on this show we don't do, and that's kink shame. You do you, Tommy. You do you, buddy.
Okay, I can just picture Tommy's Netflix. It's all Bollywood.
I don't get it.
This NFL season, I think it's going to be one of those seasons that's things have to happen this year for certain teams, and I think there because yesterday I was watching the game at I'm staying here at Planet Hollywood.
You got 10 seconds.
I was watching it downstairs, and people were pissed off at the Dallas Cowboys with Dallas Cowboys jerseys on. That simple.
Tommy's saying a little vitamin ass is good for you. We'll see you all next week, everybody.